Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of From a Woman to a Leader, a podcast dedicated to discussing the challenges and providing tips for women in tech leadership. I'm your host, Limor Bergman Gross, and in this episode, I had a pleasure to sit down with Prati. Prati is an engineering leader who broke a lot of barriers in the world of AI. She came from a humble background and she defied the odds to pursue her passion in computer science. She shares her inspiring journey from working on AI research during her master's degree to founding a startup focused on video analytics. And she opens up about the challenges women face in a very male dominated, tech industry, and also the importance of mentorship. As a mentor herself, through organizations like Anita Borg Institute and Plato, she has guided over 50 engineering managers at top companies. Prati discussed also the exciting future trends in AI, like democratization of the technology. She envisions a world where AI is developed with less bias, shaped by women and underrepresented voices. So get ready to be motivated as Prati shares her personal story and insights on innovation, diversity, and paving the way for the next generation of women in AI. Hi, Prati. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hey, Limor. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. I'm super excited to talk to you about AI and other things today. So let's start maybe if you are willing to share a little bit about your background, kind of what inspired you to, I know that you dreamt about medical career. What inspired you to pursue a degree in computer science and engineering?
Yeah, sure. I guess as America has it, like even in India, pursuing a medical degree is kind of expensive, and those who are from a humble family background are unable to do it. Um, at that point in my life, I guess I decided to do a bachelor's degree in computer science and engineering was much more sustainable and feasible. So even for a merit seat, it was quite expensive for my father to afford the fees and all. Later, I was offered scholarships and alumni funds from the dean of KLE Tech, where I did my undergrad. Until today, I think about this education being commercialized in every part of the world. Um, yeah, I guess we can keep that conversation later. But coming back to
Yeah,
my degree, I had doubts in the beginning, to be honest, and thought computer science is not a science, actual science, rather than, or I would say, it's just a tool to do things. Fortunately, the programs my college offered changed my mind. So, KLE Tech, where I did my undergrad, now identifies as one of the five places to watch globally for future leadership in engineering education. So they had something called as BVB Oak BVB Center of Excellence, and I had an opportunity to got certified as a IBM associate developer in the college itself. Usually, this is a professional certification. So later, when I joined Accenture, my manager was kind of inspired by my certification so early, because it usually takes a couple of years of experience to get that. Um, so I traveled to Sweden and worked on some consulting projects and stuff. During my journey in Accenture, I was working on a tool called as a securitization tool called Brain, and I realized much of the work in India is mostly maintenance or enhancement work. I learned that people in Switzerland built this tool, so the actual fresh development happens outside of India. This this is part of the reason, as well as my work at HP Labs, which I'll explain later, further drew me towards higher education, and I decided to pursue my master's degree at University of Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you also founded a startup in video analytics. Was it
Yes.
later on after your
Yeah,
graduate degree?
yes, it was after my master's. So during my master's, I worked in NLP and ML research work. I did some research work at Department of Biomedical Informatics. Although I joined FedEx as an engineering lead or team lead per se, I was managing global teams at FedEx and I worked at STLC partners at Pittsburgh. So during that time, this entrepreneurship journey started, I guess, by accident and also with my efforts, I would say.
Yeah, I believe that nothing happened by accident, right? I mean, something kind of drew you to that.
Yeah.
What have you learned from that experience for that entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah. So I guess I gave a short answer. So let me elaborate further. So moving back to the time when I was working in Pittsburgh, I was really keen on contributing to work in AI, and my burning desire to build something using the skills that I have developed during my masters was still alive. However, as an introvert, it was difficult for me to go out and network. Most of the jobs or most of the things happen during networking, which I realized later. Despite this, I gathered the courage to present my idea, which I mean, I was working on side projects and stuff. So I somehow mustered the courage to present this idea at X Prize AI pitch competition that was held in Pittsburgh, Ascender Pittsburgh. That's one of the incubator in Pittsburgh. So there were a bunch of industry professionals, CMU grads participating there. And here I was, female solopreneur, presenting my idea on the stage. I was very nervous, to be frank, but I did it anyway. So my idea was focused on searching within video. Probably it was a bit ahead of times, I guess. um, but fortunately, out of the teams that were there, I believe around 60 or something, only six teams were chosen, and one was mine. So after the idea was chosen, two guys approached me, and we formed a team, and we worked on building a disaster recovery management system using real time insights from live video. So after that competition, a CMU professor actually offered to help and advise us and start our startup journey. So we approached it from a different angle to bootstrap as a product for influencer marketing industry. So, however, we had so coming back to the your question, like key learnings, we really had hard time getting initial traction and building our network. Probably we at least we lacked business fundamentals as a team, as we were still, at least I was still fresh grad, but the other person was professional. So we reached out to a few video analytics companies within Pittsburgh, but we needed more information to form a response and make a decision. And I had to move out of Pittsburgh, and I moved to Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, and decided to focus on researching it further. And I took a program in deep learning and TensorFlow at UCSC. But looking back at it, I feel like we should have involved another person working in digital marketing, which kind of happened at Target at a later point in my career.
Hmm.
So remember, your learnings never go waste. So they will
Never
be,
go away. I agree with you.
yeah.
And you probably have been, I think that during that time you've been the only woman or almost the only woman there. How has that experience kind of shaped your perspective about gender diversity in tech and kind of what challenges did you have to face?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So yeah, I mean, there were, to be more specific, there were other women who came with along with other teams, but Nobody had a solo idea or something. So I gathered that courage. But so people who are really familiar with my work know that I'm a leader, engineering leader who focuses on innovation. So I strongly believe in challenging stereotypes, of course, as long as it doesn't harm anyone. So including people of different genders in any team or organization can have really positive impact on innovation. So when individuals with diverse perspectives and ideas come together, they create a melting point of creativity that can lead to groundbreaking solutions and strategies, which I have experienced firsthand by exchanging thoughts in different communities and stuff. So encouraging gender diversity is not only the right thing to do, but it can also be the key to unlocking a world of endless possibilities. So usually you view it as a, hey, it's a quota, or create a program for women, uh, create some kind of group within organization so that they have a proper channel. It is not only benefiting women, but it's in turn benefiting the organization or the community around them to come up with very innovative ideas, because people tend to have different perspectives based on their background, based on their gender, etc., right? So
Absolutely, yeah. And I completely agree because when people think alike, then they have a limited view and limited perspectives. And when you have a diverse group, sometimes it can be challenging, right? I mean, with people with different opinions, we know how it is, but it usually brings more options than, you know, than a
yeah, no.
single kind of group would think about.
Mhm. That is so true. I mean, we are witnessing a significant changes. I believe, I still believe that there needs to be a bottom-up decision making, because most of the uh, women, there are, while we are seeing women rising up to the power, there are still barriers that women face to rise up to that level. A lot of women leave workforce and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, we still see that. Absolutely. And I know that you're involved in in Anita Borg Institute.
Mhm.
Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a long time member of Anita B. So I started right after my college. I used to attend their events as a student, and I even participated as a hopper. Hopper is somebody who participates in Grace Hopper conference as a volunteer to help out event planning and stuff. So I'm aware of them, and I'm motivated by their goal, to bring equity and equality in the workplaces and beyond, right? So I guess it is not only about women, but many underrepresented, like how I faced earlier, coming from a humble background. There are very less opportunities for people to compete with kids who have gone to Ivy League institutes, or even prestigious institutes, right? So I think these kind of communities or the organizations help bridge that gap. So I was working for some time, and then I was volunteering and stuff. When I joined Target as a EMIP senior engineering manager, I got a call from Anita B. Hey, we looked at your expertise in the artificial intelligence. Do you want to become part of Anita BI committee? I was more than elated to be part of that committee, and we hold monthly sessions on, and we kind of brainstorm on solutions what we can bring to the table so that more women are encouraged to break into the field of AI, how they can take different kinds of certificates. You don't need to have a PhD. I strongly believe in that. And early in my career, I have faced those challenges too. Um, So yeah, so Anita B is being a great organization along with other organizations I'm part of.
Yeah, seems like you're also part of Plato, which I'm also part of Plato. Why do you believe that
Yeah,
mentorship is so
that's
crucial,
how you
especially for
found me, I
women
guess,
in
right?
engineering?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I was feeling we lost. Yes, I am part of Plato. I was invited after I joined Target. I still don't remember how I came across that organization, but I felt like it's a great community for the engineering leaders to exchange thoughts. Um, so I joined Plato, and I'm
Yeah.
mentoring.
Yeah, and you're mentoring there, and I wanted to ask you why you think mentorship is so crucial, especially for women in engineering.
Yeah, yeah. I love that question. Because I somewhere at the back of my mind, I feel like I could have taken the advantage of it early in my career. My introvert nature probably was a barrier for it. But to answer your question, I guess I strongly believe in mentorship is a two-way street. So I use reverse mentoring when working with my mentees. So as a mentor, you don't necessarily have to provide an answer. Many a times, your questioning ability and pointing them in the right direction helps them realize the answer themselves. So, I mean, you have tons of books on engineering leadership, but I feel like mentorship is an efficient approach to leadership problems and helps you provide a direction on where to dig further. I mean, you can still be an engineering leader without mentorship, but I guess it depends on the amount of time you have to dedicate to exploring it on your own, the solved problems. Sometimes I wonder how similar kind of questions, if not same, arise during my mentorship calls. One can't imagine engineering managers time and time and again face the same set of challenges. So I realized that, and therefore I wrote some articles on frequently occurring problems. So you can, people are welcome to check them on Plato page, my portfolio. So yes, I
Oh,
mean,
perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I found that mentoring is powerful not just for knowledge sharing and
Hmm.
experience and all of that, but also in terms of building confidence and sometimes, believing in someone before they believe in themselves, if you get what I mean.
Yes, yes. Ideally, your sponsor is supposed to do that if you are good enough to get a sponsor. But mentor is a great avenue. Mentorship is a great avenue to get that to someone, to build that support circle. Right, like you said, it's very very important to have that support circle.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, not everyone have sponsors, and even managers within the workspace are not always supportive enough. But
Mm-hmm.
great that you are involved in Plato and also in Anita B. And let's talk about AI and what kind of future trends in AI and technology excites you the most.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. It's such a vast domain. There are multiple things I am excited about. One is, of course, democratization of AI, where it is accessible to everyone, regardless of you are a large organization or a small organization, small business or an individual. So ChatGPT is making that possible. So I'm excited about it. As I mean, since I tried building a tool for influencer marketing industry before, I'm familiar with content marketing. So where even sometimes unqualified people share information, which can have some serious consequences. I'm excited to learn more about how we can tackle the issue of misinformation and disinformation For example, if you recollect, there was a fake news, multiple fake news, I guess, that caused significant amount of unrest in India a year ago or something. So we need to address this issue upfront and create awareness, not only in India but around the globe, where digital literacy is lacking, including America. So, in the past, I have also been invited by Meta for interviewing with a specific team that works on this misinformation. So, specifically, recently I've read that. So, to give a, I think, to go back a little bit, large language models are prone to hallucination and misinformation, as we all know. They can't expand their knowledge beyond their training data. So, I mean, they are improving. However, Databricks recently unveiled a new RAG tooling, so retrieval augmented generation, a tool to help build high quality large language models where and pre-trained models like large language models llms can now access external knowledge through rag, so which provides you up to date and factual information. So by retrieving only the relevant information for a query or a user, rag can generate the most accurate response to prompt. So I mean, you have seen in the past like how ChatGPT behaved and now how it has evolved. So I'm excited about this also.
Yeah, and how do
uh,
you
to not to
envision
take
women
much
play
time,
a
but
role, a more
I had
significant role
also
in shaping the
participated
future
in
of AI?
yeah. So um the other thing I wanted to talk about was like to put it in short story, I was part of AI Avengers team, which was basically we tackled a grand challenge on EU AI Act. So the first University of St. Gallen Grand AI Act challenge. So we formed a team of about a few people working in different domains: law, policy, computer science, and defense systems. So although we did not get selected for the final rounds, we were one of the 20 teams in the beginning. So as a part of that, like I'm really excited to hear that one of the outcomes of that EU AI Act was banning using biometric techniques like facial recognition in public places. So that needs to happen. Privacy invasion and using data without your consent. So I think these are like couple of topics I'm really excited about, like how the
Yeah,
field will evolve further.
absolutely. And how do you envision women play a role in shaping the future of technology and in AI more specifically?
Yeah, no, I'm this is the right time, in fact, like so early I think during early days when tech was booming, like computer science was booming, probably many women did not get a chance to enter the field, but now women have a lot of support around them, and this is the right time for women to get involved in AI, as it is still emerging. Having a significant of women and underrepresented folks, we can create a less biased, if not completely unbiased, intelligent systems, right? Like we already know that how AI models are biased towards a certain data. So I envision a future where women who have taken a career break or left the career altogether, sitting at home, contribute to this economy. And it is possible with this democratization of AI. So, and also I envision a future where the quality of intellectual engagement improves and there is a significant knowledge production rather than commodification of education, which I strongly feel and it's close to my heart. A future where a sense of civic community or civic sense of community and technology is brought to the masses, rather than just making profits to MNCs, I guess.
Yeah. And what advice would you give young women aspiring to enter and lead in the tech industry?
Don't feel intimidated. That's
Don't
my
feel
first
intimidated.
advice.
Yeah.
And don't feel intimidated whether it is learning, and implementing an idea in your workplace or beyond, or approaching other men and women who can possibly become your future mentors, right? So that's how you, one way to find mentor. Don't be afraid to comment on articles or posts you feel connected to, right? So hey, I don't know this person, how do I exchange knowledge or how do I ask a question? Don't feel intimidated. So I guess as an introvert, what has helped me most was exchanging knowledge on my area of expertise. I really find that people love to talk about their research or engineering work or any field they work in, and that can be a good connecting point, right?
It's always, yeah, it's, I think it's always an easier way to connect on like specific technical areas, you know, especially for introverts, because it can be very intimidating. And I'm also an introvert, and it's hard for me to network. You
Hmm.
mentioned networking, and I guess my advice would be practice it. Practice networking,
Yes.
because it's easy to stay. I can share for me, it's easy to stay home in your pajama, just do the work, and
Yeah.
feel comfortable and secured. But once in a while, get out there and force yourself into situations that you feel uncomfortable. Like I'm going soon to, there is like a local AI related conference here in Israel, more
Great.
for content creators. So as a content creator, I'm very fascinated by AI and
Wow.
always want to learn more. So it's an opportunity for me, not just for obviously learning something new, but also to
Yes.
train the muscle of going
Yes.
to a place I don't know anyone and
Yes.
start talking with strangers, which is super
True.
intimidating for introverts. Super.
I can't agree more. This is the second time I'm hearing this advice. That's a lovely advice. I guess she too arranged an executive session with Kirtiga Reddy or something. She was also talking about this. Get out there. So it's unlike the old times where you put your head down and you do work and it gets recognized. Forget about it. It won't be. So put yourself out there and just like practicing in gym, right? So that's a great advice.
Exactly. Like practicing in the gym, you have to practice that muscle. And you know, it will never be natural or super easy, but it become easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the more you practice, it becomes easier.
Yeah, yeah. So Prati, it was so nice talking to you today. I wanted to ask you if there's anything else that you wish to share that I didn't ask you.
Not really, but I guess I would like to stress on that point further. Reach out, reach out, build a community around you. Don't feel intimidated to exchange thoughts, and value the like you how you are publishing the content. This is such a great resource, which we didn't have back in the days, right? So listen to these podcasts, listen to the or look up to the posts and stuff, and connect with the people you admire or you feel connected to. So I guess that's the last thing I wanted to focus. But it was really nice talking to you as well, Rimor.
Yeah, likewise.
Really
And
lovely discussion.
how can people find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Insta. You can find me on Plato, which is a engineering leadership
Yeah,
platform. So I have mentored around 50 engineering managers from Salesforce and others over there. So yeah,
that's
Plato, LinkedIn.
incredible. Yeah, I'll take all your links and I'll put them in the show notes. Thank you so much for being here today, Prati.
Great. Thanks for having me, Limor.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for listening to the episode with Prati. What's coming up next? Next week, I'm going to talk with Nidhi Gupta. Nidhi is the founder of SheTO, an organization focused on women in engineering. It's a community. It's much more than a community. We'll talk about it. And we are going to talk about inclusive hiring. How do you hire diverse talent? But not just how to hire them, but how to maintain diverse talent. Nidhi Gupta is a former chief technology and product officer at Hired. She has an impressive career herself. So don't forget to tune in for next week's episode with Nidhi. Thank you so much for listening today.